rock and roll legend Lou Reed has died. The lead singer of the Velvet Underground had been suffering from liver failure after a transplant earlier this year. He was 71 years old. Well, Lou Reed is considered by many to be a musical legend. The musician founded the band Velvet Underground and later embarked on a successful solo career. Our Eli Glasner is here with more. So, Eli, what do we know?
So the Rolling Stone magazine website first reported this. The Guardian has already talked to his agent. It seems like, yes, this is true. We have lost Lou Reed. And this just leaves a chasm in the history of rock and roll. He was truly legendary, dead at the age of 71. Here's the most recent events. He had a liver transplant in April. His wife, Laurie Anderson, said it was as serious as it gets. He was dying. He was supposed to be playing some concerts at Coachella in April. That was canceled. But Lou Reed was still active until the end. You can find photos of him at a book launch in early October in New York City for a new book called Transformer about his legendary days in the 1970s.
Yeah, he had just an incredible career.
It spanned many decades and many musical styles, starting when this kid was born in Brooklyn, grew up listening to, of all things, I mean, you might not hear it in his music initially, but doo-wop and R&B. But his first real impact on the world of rock and roll was the Velvet Underground. 1967, we had the Beatles, we had the Rolling Stones, but we'd never heard anything quite like the Velvet Underground. I mean, this was punk before people even knew what that word really meant. They came along with songs like Run, 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 Sunday Morning, Heroin. Andy Warhol kind of got them started, but basically he just kind of stood out of their way. And he sang about people that he knew. He sang about his own life. He sang about the streets of New York, and not the pretty side, but the dark underbelly. Now, he split from the Velvet Underground in 1970 after classic tracks like Sweet Jane, Rock and Roll, moved on and reinvented himself with the early 70s album Transformer, produced by David Bowie. Now, you listen to that and classic songs like Walk on the Wild Side, they sound almost gentle. They sound lush at times. It's a bigger sound, but there's still that classic Lou Reed, the way he sings, that monotone, just kind of the lyrics driving you forward. And after that album, he really was a rock and roll superstar. Went on with the album Berlin, Sally Can't Dance, recording right through the 80s, even the early 90s. Velvet Underground got together for a European tour in the early 90s. He was in Montreal at the Jazz Festival in 2010, got booed because he was playing basically a free jazz style that people want to hear, rock and roll and heroin. They want to hear the hits, but Lou Reed has always been about evolving and moving on. Look at him recording with Metallica in 2011. He's recorded with Metric and Emily Haines. Kevin Hearn of the Bare Naked Ladies actually has been touring with him the past couple of years. So lots of connections to Lou Reed. And if you look at his Twitter account or on his Facebook account, the last thing he put up just about 8 hours ago, don't know if he put it up or someone else, is a picture of a door and a picture, an old poster of him on the door, and it says on the t-shirt, Supreme. So the last image we have of Lou Reed on his account is a door. Presumably he's gone through the door, but of course he leaves that wonderful music behind.
Wow, what a powerful image.
It is. It really is. And I think a lot of people are going to be looking at that and hopefully listening to those amazing songs.
71 sounds very young, but he packed a lot into those 71 years.
He was so vibrant. I mean, he was this force, this rock and roll force. So you think, what could possibly stop Lou Reed? But the records will keep spinning.
Exactly. Eli, thanks so much for this.
My pleasure.